Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 13th of August. Okay, apologies yesterday for the late upload onto YouTube of the Outlook, but back to normal today. It's important to note that I do this live every morning in front of our clients in our trading room, online trading room, and it's sort of that's my main focus, my online trading room, and our online trading room there. So that's the focus in the mornings. We've got so busy. We got into a euro long yesterday, and that was that. So sorry about that. Anyway, just another note also is when these go out. I mean, it is actually 9 minutes past 8 this morning. I did do an earlier recording and realised the sound wasn't on the microphone. Schoolboy error. Anyway, so you're getting this a little bit more timely in some respects. Just looking at these markets, when I look at them at this time of the morning, quite a lot can happen between 8 and 9 o'clock. And particularly that earlier stage, just after 8, we often see complete reversals. Yesterday was an absolute, this is what we saw yesterday. We saw it at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It was sort of turning around, looking a bit bitty, and then I got interested in it. And that's not the reason it went up, but I got interested in the reversal that was coming through here, and we got long on this. But so much when I'm looking at this, it's all downward trend, downward, and you sort of, when you're doing your outlook at that point, or my outlook at that point, you've got to bear that in mind. But it did have a day, I mentioned it yesterday, the daily pivot above, and that was the draw. So just bear in mind that my long-term view on the euro is bullish at the moment. I've got fundamental and sentiment from the bigger traders. There's record amounts of big money going into the euro and have been going into the euro, and it does look to me bullish. Yes, we may get these pullbacks and these double tops coming into play, but we may be yet on for a triple top. We'll see. But for today, at this stage, I'm looking at it at this time of the morning. I can't really do anything with it at the moment. I might just be buying a high if I wanted to buy, so I need it to give me a bit of a retrace, maybe another test back to these highs may give the opportunity. There is the untouched daily pivot. Now, could get a ride on the coattails down to that. We'll see what it does. If it breaks the trend line across the lows there, it's almost a simplistic way of looking at it and seeing if it comes back to that, and I could look for a sort of a bounce off that area, or it may just come back towards the 21. We'll see. It's get a little extended in the short term, but it hasn't been back to the 21 since crossing it. It often comes back towards that way, so we'll see how it happens. I'm just looking at this it's probably got, no, it's not got any divergence on. I was just looking, it's got a bit of RSI divergence here, but that's worked its way off on this more recent pitch here. So there we are. Anyway, price at the moment pushing up. Need a retrace to be buying the euro, which was my preference, but if it just continues to roll, I'll stand aside. I need to find a bit of support. The pound is a bit of a different ball game. Yesterday it really didn't do anything. It ended up as a down day, one of the weaker markets, weaker currencies. You can see it's range bound on the 4 hourlies over last week, and the best part of this week it's even in a tighter range, really lacking clarity in terms of whether it should be pushing up or not. One thing I was looking at yesterday to see if we got much more of a break here. It did just try and tease traders in here, but I could see buy orders sitting all below, and I steered clear of it when it started breaking down later in the morning here. 12 o'clock candle there, midday. I just steered out of it. I wasn't interested in doing anything. It was quite fickle. It bounced quite quickly. Next bar it was up, then coming down, and it sort of came just back to the shoulders and then up again. Bit fickle. There certainly was demand around this area at about 30.20. It may become a bit of a target. We've had the daily pivot already hit today, so it's not a statistical target as well. We'll just see how this shapes up this morning. It may be that I have to just sit out of it for now. Dollar yen, it's a funny old one. This I'm looking at them. I was looking a short while ago at potential continuation. Didn't manage to close above that 50, but has put the higher low in on the dailies there, the 4 hourlies. It's putting this little ball flag in, and when you come down to the hourlies here, I was just looking. Actually, it still hasn't triggered, but I was looking to see if it breaks the trend line across the highs here. If that does, well, we could see a push on upwards there. Aussie news came out. I'm not going to go through the bigger time frames. You can see in the shorter time frames here that it's quite a choppy beast, although in the bigger trend, the bigger time frame, the trend is up. But it had some half decent news out. This morning jobs data came out, but it just shows you that traders are sort of discounting the fact that, well, that's history now, and we're into the sort of second phase of lockdowns in some places in Australia. Australia being one of them, New Zealand being another, and I mean the UK in place. All around the world is just seeing this sort of second numbers coming up again. We've seen the New Zealand dollar hit with this and sliding down, bigger picture being sliding down here, and we could again see this sliding back. If it rocks off, we see the pound and euro starting to give up. This may just give up a little bit easier back towards not necessarily S1, but it may get down there. It's been to that level before, but the safer place would be that sort of 65.44 area. Okay, let's just a quick look at oil. Oil's been well, it's a bit rangy actually. If I come out a time frame here back to the 4 hourlies, it's been a little bit rangy this week, running back into mid highs. That hasn't made last week's highs yet, and well, it's a possibility it could run up there today. It sort of got close yesterday and sold off quite quickly, but recovered a little bit. Could carry on its road up there. Maybe looking at this more bullishly again, and we'll see how it goes. But at the moment, it's looking all right. Gold. Just looking at it from a 4-hour perspective here, and then an hourly, we've seen quite a big retrace recently. Now, generally, what we're seeing here is consolidation. Consolidation generally goes within the direction of the move. Now, the bigger move, of course, was up, but when you come down and sort of look at this in a bit more detail, it's quite messy how it's moved. Obviously, short-term move was to the downside here, and it could be that we just sort of see a move down. It's got about just under $20 back to its daily pivot here. That could just roll over there in that direction. Looking softish at the moment. Okay, S&Ps finally. S&Ps can do no wrong in the big time of things. We know that. Yesterday I was looking at this, considering, but the problem we have when you're around these highs is everyone wants to sell into the highs, and sure enough they've sold into a number of times. It's held up reasonably well, and it's got this sort of bullish flag sort of in this picture here going, and so further upside potential there on the S&Ps. Okay, news wise today, finally, we've only got the US unemployment claims at 130. They'll probably get a bit more focus than normal, as we've seen through the last few months, couple of months or so. So just watch out for that 130. Have a great day. Bye for now.